The rain came down like falling stones that night. The wind hit the old farmhouse again and again, shaking the wooden walls as if trying to break inside. Evan, a tired human man in his early 30s, checked the windows for the 10th time. His 2 young daughters, Leah and Mira, sat close to the fireplace, hugging each other with blankets around them. Storms were common in the outer colonies, but tonight felt different. The sky was too dark, the thunder too loud, and the wind too angry. Evan could feel something strange in the air, something heavy, something that made the hair on his arms stand. Leah whispered, "Dad, will the roof break?" Evan forced a smile. "No, sweetheart. I fixed it last week. It will be fine." But even he did not believe his words. Mira, the younger one, asked in a small voice, "Is someone outside?" Evan frowned. "No, why?" "I heard footsteps," she said, her voice shaking. Evan shook his head. "It's the storm. Just the storm." But deep inside, he felt she might be right. Something felt wrong. The storm grew stronger. The light flickered. Then the house became silent for a moment. Too silent. Knock. A single knock on the door. Soft, but clear. The girls jumped. Evan froze. "No. Not at this hour," he muttered. Nobody visited during storms. Nobody walked outside at night. And no human or alien dared to approach houses in the dark. Not after the warnings from the colony guards. A second knock came, this time weaker, almost like someone losing strength. "Dad," Leah whispered, "don't open it." Evan walked slowly toward the door, his steps heavy. He took the iron rod he kept near the table, just in case. The third knock came quietly. Then a voice followed, soft, trembling, and filled with pain. "Human, please," the voice said. "I have nowhere else to go." It was a woman's voice, but not human. Evan's heart started beating faster. He looked back at his daughters. Their eyes were wide with fear. Everyone in the colony knew the stories. Do not open the door at night. Some outcast aliens roam the land. Some are dangerous. Some are desperate. But the voice outside did not sound dangerous. It sounded broken. Evan took a deep breath and opened the door just a few inches. What he saw made him stiffen. A young alien woman stood in the rain, trembling like a leaf. Her glowing blue skin flickered weakly. Her hair, long and shimmering, stuck to her face from the rain. She looked thin, hurt, and on the edge of collapse. Her eyes, silver with tiny rings of light, were full of fear. She whispered, "Please, let me stand inside. Just for tonight. I will leave when the storm ends." Evan looked around the dark land behind her. No other figures. No signs of danger. Still he hesitated. "Why are you here? Where is your clan?" She swallowed hard. I was cast out. An Aaron outcast. That explained the glowing skin. Aarons were once enemies of humans. Even after the war ended, most colonies feared them. Outcasts were treated even worse. Evan looked at his daughters again. Mira peeked at the alien woman from behind a chair. Their eyes met. The alien woman quickly looked down, as if ashamed of being seen. Evan sighed. "You can come inside. But don't harm my girls." She nodded immediately. "I would never." He opened the door wider. She walked in slowly, almost stumbling. Her clothes were torn, her feet bare, and her hands scratched. The warmth of the house hit her, and she closed her eyes for a moment, breathing SHAKILY. Myra whispered to her sister, "She looks scared, not scary." Leah nodded but stayed close to Evan. The alien woman, trying to be polite, moved to the corner of the room and sat on the floor. She did not dare sit on the furniture. Evan brought a towel and placed it near her. "Here." She looked surprised. You give this to me?" "It's just a towel," he said. But to her, it seemed more. She took it with shaking hands. "What is your name?" Evan asked. She hesitated. "Lyra." "All right, Lyra. Sit by the fire. You'll fall sick if you stay cold." She shook her head quickly. No, I must not come close to your daughters. Humans fear my kind. Evan's voice softened. I don't fear you. Not yet, at least. Lyra slowly stood and walked toward the fire, stopping at a distance, afraid to come too close. Mira watched her with curious eyes. Why were you cast out? Evan asked. Lyra looked at the flames. The light showed the sadness in her eyes. My clan calls me broken, she said slowly. A woman without value, a woman who cannot bring life. They said I am cursed, so they threw me away. Evan felt anger twist in his chest. That's cruel. That is our way, she whispered. The room fell into silence except for the crackling fire and the storm outside. Evan cooked a simple meal, bread and soup. Lyra stared at the food like she had never seen it before. Eat, Evan said. She looked at him in shock. For me? Yes. Her hands trembled as she lifted the spoon. She ate slowly, carefully, as if afraid the food might disappear if she ate too fast. Mira moved a little closer. Your hair is pretty, she said shyly. Lyra froze. No one had ever called her pretty before. She whispered, Thank you, little one. As the storm grew louder, the farmhouse felt strangely calm. Evan watched Lyra, noticing her gentle movements, her quiet nature, the way she tried not to disturb anything. But later that night, when the rain softened a little, Evan woke up suddenly. There was a sound, a humming sound, soft, echoing, like a song filled with sadness. He got up quickly and followed the sound. It was coming from his daughter's room. His heart pounded. He grabbed the iron rod again and rushed forward. When he pushed the door open, he saw something he never expected. Lyra was kneeling on the floor near the girls' beds, crying silently. Her glowing hair dimmed with each tear. She wasn't touching the children. She wasn't harming them. She was just crying. Evan lowered the rod slowly. What are you doing here? He asked softly. Lyra wiped her tears quickly, embarrassed. I am sorry. I did not mean to wake you. Then why are you here? Lyra looked at the girls, sleeping peacefully. In my clan, she whispered, voice shaking. Children were kept away from me. They said I was not worthy to be near them. When I saw your daughters sleeping safely, I remembered what I could never have. A tear fell again. I just wanted to feel for one moment that I am not a curse. Evan's expression softened. The anger faded from his eyes. He lowered the rod completely. He did not know what to say. He had never seen someone cry like that, quiet, broken, and trying hard not to be noticed. He finally spoke. Lyra, you should rest. She nodded weakly. Yes, I will go back to the corner. But as she started to leave, Mira rolled over in her sleep and whispered, Don't cry. Alien lady. Lyra froze. Evan saw something change in her eyes, a tiny spark of hope. Go rest, Evan said quietly. You are safe here. For the first time that night, Lyra believed him. Morning sunlight entered the farmhouse slowly, lighting up the wooden floor and touching the blankets of Leah and Mira. They slept peacefully. Unaware of how the night had changed something inside the house. Evan stood in the kitchen, boiling water for tea. He had barely slept. His mind kept returning to the moment when he found Lyra crying near his daughters. She looked harmless. She looked broken. But she also looked like someone carrying a heavy story nobody cared about. When the door creaked softly, Evan turned. Lyra stepped out from the small corner where she had slept. Her clothes were still damp from last night's storm. Her glowing skin looked dim, almost gray from cold and exhaustion. She held her hands close to her chest, like she was afraid of touching anything. I can help, she said quietly. I can clean, or cook, or fix something. Evan shook his head. You don't have to. I want to, she insisted softly. I do not wish to be a burden. Evan looked at her. Something in her voice felt honest, fragile. He nodded slowly. All right. You can help me fix the window. Her silver eyes widened in surprise. You trust me with tools? It's just a window, Evan said with a half smile. For a moment, Lyra almost smiled back. Lyra tries to fit in. They stepped outside. The storm had left the ground muddy and wet, but the air was calm and fresh. Lyra walked carefully, her bare feet sinking into the cold mud. Evan handed her a small toolkit. She took it slowly, as if holding something precious. Can you fix it? He asked. Lyra crouched near the wooden frame and examined the broken hinges. Her glowing fingers traced the cracks. After a moment, she whispered, Yes, but I will need to melt the metal. Evan blinked. Melt it? Lyra looked down, unsure. My people. We can heat small objects with our energy. I will not damage your home. Evan stepped back. Go ahead. Lyra placed her hands on the metal. A soft light grew around her fingers. The metal hinge slowly softened and bent into shape. Evan could only stare. You fixed it in seconds. Lyra stepped back shyly. Is it okay? It's perfect, he said. She looked down again, her cheeks glowing faintly. No one had ever praised her for anything before. The daughters wake up inside the house. Mira woke up first. She rubbed her eyes, saw Lyra working, and ran to her. You fixed the window. Mira said happily. Lyra froze. She wasn't used to children coming close to her. She backed away slightly, unsure. You don't have to be scared, Mira giggled. You look nice. Lyra's breath caught in her chest. Thank you. Leah, the older daughter, came next. She walked slowly and studied Lyra with more caution, but her eyes were curious rather than afraid. You were crying last night, Leah said gently. Are you okay now? Lyra's eyes filled with embarrassment. I am sorry. I did not mean to disturb anyone. You didn't, Leah said. You just looked sad. Evan watched this from the doorway. Lyra kept stepping away, as if expecting to be scolded for being near children. But the girls didn't pull back. They kept moving closer, for the first time. Lyra didn't run. The first laugh while Evan prepared breakfast. Lyra stood awkwardly near the wall. Mira dragged a small wooden chair toward her. Sit here, Mira said. Lyra shook her head quickly. I cannot sit, I am different, so what? Mira replied. The chair does not care. Evan laughed softly at the little girl's logic. Even Leah smiled. Lyra slowly sat down. The chair creaked slightly but held her weight. Mira clapped happily. You look less tired now, Mira said. Your hair is glowing again. Lyra touched her own hair gently. Is it nice? Yes, both girls said together. Lyra looked away as a small smile escaped her lips. It felt strange. It felt warm. She hadn't smiled in years. The villagers arrived after breakfast. Evan went outside to repair the barn roof. Lyra followed him, offering help again. I can hold the tools, she said quietly. You don't have to, Evan replied. I know. But I want to. Before he could answer, voices came from the dirt road. 3 villagers approached, holding lanterns and long sticks. Their faces looked tense. Evan's jaw tightened. Stay behind me. The villagers stopped in front of him. Evan, the eldest man said, we heard an outcast is hiding in your home. Evan stiffened. She's harmless. No outcast is harmless, another man snapped. Their clans throw them away for a reason. She just needed shelter, Evan argued. The first man pointed his stick toward the house. Throw her out before she brings danger to your family. Before something bad happens. Evan clenched his fists. I said she's harmless. But Lyra stood behind him, trembling. She understood everything. Her glowing eyes dimmed with sadness as their words cut deep. They left with a final warning. Get rid of her before she ruins your life. Lyra swallowed hard. They are right. I should go. Evan turned sharply. No, I do not belong here, she whispered. Your people fear me. I bring only trouble. You saved my window, he said. My girls like you. And you didn't harm anyone. But your people, let me worry about them. Lyra lowered her head. She wasn't used to someone choosing her over others. No one ever had. Lyra decides to leave that evening. Evan brought firewood inside while the girls played with small wooden toys on the rug. Lyra watched them from a distance with soft eyes. She wanted to stay. She truly did. But she knew the villagers wouldn't stop. She waited until everyone slept. Then she quietly stood up, took her torn bag, and walked to the door. Her heart felt heavy. She didn't want to leave, but she lacked the courage to stay. She whispered, "Thank you. For the first warm night of my life." She opened the door slowly. A small hand grabbed her dress. Lyra looked down. Mira stood there, eyes sleepy and sad. "Alien lady, where are you going?" Lyra kneeled. "Little one, I must leave. I do not want your father to get hurt because of me." Mira's lower lip trembled. "But we like you. We feel safe when you are here." Lyra's heart squeezed painfully. "You are kind, but I am a problem." "No," Myra said, shaking her head. "You are our friend." Lyra closed her eyes. She didn't know if she wanted to cry or smile. Then Leah appeared too, holding a blanket. "You don't have to go," she said. "Dad trusts you." "We trust you." Lyra looked away, unable to hold their gaze. "Your father only let me stay because of pity." Before she could stand, Evan's voice came from behind them. "You're wrong." Lyra froze. Evan stepped forward, looking straight at her. "My daughters laugh again because of you." Lyra covered her mouth as tears filled her glowing eyes. No one had ever said something like that to her. Evan took a breath. "You can stay." Lyra shook her head. "But your people, I don't care what they say." Her heart pounded. Hope felt dangerous, but she couldn't stop it from growing. Cliffhanger, the forest awakens. Before Evan could say anything more, the colony alarm suddenly echoed through the night, a deep metallic sound. A warning that something had entered the forest. Evan grabbed his lantern. "Stay inside," he said quickly. But as the trees rustled violently in the distance, Lyra's face filled with fear, pure fear. "It's them," she whispered. "Who?" Evan asked. Lyra stepped back, shaking. "My clan. Or what's left of it." Her voice cracked. "They are coming for me." The colony alarm echoed again across the silent night, vibrating through the wooden walls of Evan's farmhouse. The girls hid behind their father, clutching his clothes. Evan lifted the lantern, his face tense. Only Lyra understood what the alarm truly meant. She backed away until her shoulders hit the door. Her glowing skin dimmed with fear. "It's them," she whispered. "They tracked me." Evan frowned. "Who tracked you?" Lyra swallowed hard. "The errand hunters. Outcast collectors. They punish those who try to live freely." Mira held Lyra's hand tightly. "Will they hurt you?" Lyra forced a small smile for the child, even though her voice shook. "They came to take me away. Or worse." Leah's eyes widened. "But you didn't do anything wrong." "That does not matter to them," Lyra said softly. Evan stepped forward. "You're not going anywhere. Not tonight." Before Lyra could respond, heavy footsteps echoed outside, the sound of multiple figures moving through wet dirt. Evan quickly blew out the lantern. The house went dark, then a loud knock shook the door. "The hunters arrive. Open the door." "Human," a rough voice demanded from outside. "We know the outcast is inside." Evan didn't move. He pushed the girls behind him. Lyra stood frozen, her hands trembling. Another knock, this one harder. "We will search the house if you don't open it." Evan took a deep breath and stepped toward the door. Lyra grabbed his arm. "No, please. If you open it, they will kill you." Evan whispered back, "Then we won't open it." He held tightly to the door handle as shadows moved behind the windows. 3 tall Aaron hunters stood outside, their glowing armor reflecting the moonlight. Their faces looked cold and sharp, their eyes metallic like knives. One spoke loudly. "Human, give her to us. She broke our laws." Evan shouted back, "She is safe here. Leave her alone." The hunters laughed. "Humans think they can protect everyone. How foolish." A heavy impact hit the door. The wood cracked. Evan stepped back. FISTS, clenched. Lyra makes a choice. Lyra looked at the frightened girls and then at Evan. She couldn't let these hunters hurt them because of her presence. "I should surrender," she whispered. "I cannot let my problem become your danger." Evan turned sharply. "No, absolutely not. They will hurt your daughters. That's why you stay behind me." Lyra's eyes filled with pain. "I am an outcast. But I am not weak. I will not let harm come to the only family who showed me kindness." Before Evan could stop her, Lyra stepped forward. Her glowing hands brightened, her eyes turning sharp, almost warrior-like. Mira whispered, "She is shining." Lyra placed her hand gently on Myra's head. "Do not be afraid. I promised. I protect children, always." Then she walked toward the door. The battle begins. The hunters struck again. This time the door burst open in a shower of wood. The hunters stepped inside, tall and metallic, their armor glowing like molten silver. They carried long staffs that hummed with alien energy. Evan stood in front of his daughters, ready to fight even with empty hands. Lyra stepped in front of him. The lead hunter smirked. "You think you can fight us, broken one?" Lyra's voice was calm. "I am not broken." She raised her hand. Light burst from her fingertips. Bright blue energy shot straight at the hunter's staff, knocking it away. The hunters staggered, shocked. Lyra's eyes glowed brighter. The second hunter attacked, swinging his staff toward her. Lyra ducked, her movement fast and graceful. She grabbed the staff, heating it with her glowing palms until the metal melted. Evan watched in surprise. He had never seen her use such power before. "You have strength," the lead hunter growled, "but you are still alone." "No," Lyra said firmly. "I am not alone." The hunters charged together. Lyra pushed both hands forward, creating a burst of light that filled the whole room. The energy hit the hunters like a wave, pushing them outside into the mud. Evan shouted, "Girls, stay back." Lyra followed the hunters into the yard. Rain soaked her glowing skin, making her look like a living lantern in the night. The hunters recovered quickly. One shouted, "You cannot escape your fate." Lyra's voice echoed through the storm. "I am not escaping. I am fighting for my home." She lifted her hands again. Light formed around her like a shield. The hunters attacked with force, but Lyra blocked each strike, sending energy back at them. Evan stepped forward with a wooden plank, hitting one hunter in the back. The blow wasn't strong, but it distracted him long enough for Lyra to blast him with a wave of power. Another hunter tried to grab Leah through the open door. Lyra screamed, "Nitrogen monoxide!" She fired a sharp beam of light, hitting the hunter's arm. He fell back, howling in pain. Evan grabbed the girls and ran to the kitchen. "Stay behind the table." The house shook from the fighting outside. Sparks flew. Mud splashed. Lyra fought with everything she had, but the hunters were strong. Too strong. One hit her with a powerful strike. Lyra fell into the mud, coughing. The lead hunter lifted his staff, aiming at her chest. "You were always worthless." "Lyra." She closed her eyes. Evan saves her. The hunter raised his staff, but before he could strike, Evan ran in and tackled him with all his strength. The hunter fell back, surprised. Evan grabbed the staff and slammed it into the ground, breaking the energy core. The staff died. The hunter roared and swung his arm, hitting Evan hard. Evan fell to the ground, breath knocked out. "Dad!" Leah screamed from the door. Seeing Evan hurt made something break inside Lyra. She stood. Her glowing skin turned bright white, brighter than any moment before. "You will not hurt them," she said, voice shaking with power. The hunters backed away. Even they looked scared now. Lyra awakens her true strength. Lyra raised both hands. Swirl of white-blue energy formed around her like a storm of light. The ground shook. The trees bent. Rain formed steam where it touched her skin. She stepped forward. "You call me broken," she said. "But my strength was never for you." A powerful wave of energy burst from her hands and hit the hunters with full force. Their armor cracked. Their weapons shattered. The hunters staggered. Defeated, they turned and ran into the forest, shouting threats they could no longer fulfill. The glowing storm around Lyra faded slowly. She collapsed to her knees. Evan crawled to her, breath shaky. "Lyra, are you okay?" She looked at him weakly. I protected you. And the girls. That is all that matters." Evan grabbed her shoulders gently, keeping her steady. "You saved us." Lyra lowered her head. "I used my full power. I have nothing left now." Mira ran forward and hugged Lyra tightly. "You're our hero." Lyra froze. Then tears filled her eyes, soft, trembling tears. A new family. Something changed after that night. Evan took Lyra inside and treated her wounds, cleaning her cuts and giving her warm cloths. For the first time, Lyra let someone take care of her. The girls wrapped small blankets around Lyra and sat beside her. "Can you stay with us?" Leah asked softly. "Not just for tonight, but always?" Lyra looked up, shocked. "I do not know how to be a mother." Evan smiled gently. "You already are." Lyra covered her mouth as tears rolled down her cheeks. No one had ever given her a home. No one had ever said she belonged. Evan reached into a drawer and took out a small wooden necklace, a simple symbol of belonging in human culture. He placed it in her hands. "This is for you," he said. "If you want to stay." Lyra held the necklace tightly. Her voice broke as she whispered, "I finally have a home." And in that small farmhouse, on a rainy night where fear turned into courage, an outcast alien woman became something she never expected. A protector, a mother, and part of a family.